What's up guys, Justin Greenwald here, welcome to 65 Drums. This is the place to keep on top of all things Edrum related, so consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Today we've got some electronic drum news from Roland. They've just unveiled 4 new standalone drum pads. The Spd One Percussion, the One Electro, the One Kick, and the One Wave Pad. These are all standalone drum pads. It's tied into the SPD brand. The big brother of all these drum pads is the Spd SX sample pad. All these drum pads are like one square of that drum pad in a less powerful form factor. All these pads look very similar, but there are differences that we're going to break down in a second. Let's talk about some general things that tie them all together. They're all about 2 pounds. They're 5.5 inches across by 6.3, or that's 140 millimeters by 160 millimeters. For outputs, they've got a mono 1/4 inch jack, a headphone 1/4 inch jack, a USB port Type B, and of course the DC power jack. Now the One Wave Pad has a stereo output jack, but that's the only difference between those pads as far as outputs go. So they can all import at least one sample up to 5 seconds. The one exception is the One Wave Pad. That can import 12 samples. All these pads have a square rubber surface that has the Roland logo embedded into it, and it can be played with hands, sticks, or even feet. But one really cool feature of these Roland pads is the fact that they work on AA batteries or by plugging them into an actual wall outlet. Start off with the Spd One Percussion Pad. This thing is really simple. It's only got 22 sounds, 1 user sample slot that can be up to 5 seconds, reverb and delay effects, and the sounds include kick drums, hi-hats, cymbals, shakers, tambourines, and more percussion sounds like that. The whole idea Roland seems to be going for is the musician that uses djembes and congos and bongos, they want to add more sounds without more weight and a smaller playing surface. This is an easy way to do that. You don't have to drag around microphones so that you can project the volume if you're in a larger room. It's just a way to add sounds to your arsenal. But there aren't that many. There's only 22 sounds in this thing. But it is what it is. Let's move on to the next drum pad Roland came out with. It is the Spd One Electro. These are all electronic drum sounds. 22 of them. So 22 seems to be the magic number of sounds Roland seems to be going for. It's got reverb and delay. The sounds are fat snares, crisp hand claps, electronic cowbells, and more sounds like that. The whole idea behind this pad is maybe you're an acoustic drummer that doesn't want to buy an electronic drum set, but you want some of those sounds without the hassle of using a drum trigger and a drum module. So this is an easy way to add some interesting sounds to your arsenal. Go buy a clamp, attach it to one of your cymbal stands, and you're ready to go with some extra sounds without a big footprint to get in the way of all of your acoustic drums. Okay, let's move on to the next pad. This is the Spd One Kick. Again, 22 sounds because that is the perfect number. Reverb, distortion. The sounds are kick drums, stomp box, shakers, cowbells, and other sounds like that. I can actually see this pad catching on, guys, because you know guitarists love the idea of the one-man band, just doing all of it by themselves. They absolutely love that. And the fact that they can have a really nice kick drum sound or a stomp box sound or even like a cowbell sound underneath their foot as they tap along while they're playing, which doesn't require a giant amount of drumming talent. All it is tapping along to the song. This can really add some depth and layering to some guy who's playing at a coffee shop. This can be really nice because we all hate drum tracks. They're no fun. But if you can create that kick drum sound in real time, I think that's a great tool in the arsenal of any guitar player. This can even work for keyboardists as well. It'd be a little bit harder because you gotta have one foot on the dampening pedal and then the other foot on this kick drum sound. But it is doable, and I think this is a really interesting product for guitarists especially. And the final pad is the Spd One Wave Pad. This thing is $50 more than all the other pads. It's got 12 sample slots. Layer and click wave data are excluded, whatever that means. 4 gigabytes of storage, so approximately 360 minutes in stereo. This pad has a mix knob. There are no effects. The whole idea is that you plug this into your laptop, you drag and drop wave files into the drive that appears when you plug it in via USB, and it works if you need like a full-length backing track or even just like a one-shot sample. Okay, so that's all 4 pads. Let's talk about prices. All these guys are $200, except for this Wave sample pad. This thing is $250. That is very pricey. All of these are very pricey. These should be the price of a guitar stomp box. If these pads were only like $100, I can see that. It's a lot more easy to convince someone to buy something for $100. But for 200 or 250, that's just a little bit over the edge for me personally. But that's the Roland way. They always overprice pretty much everything they sell, except for maybe keyboards. But let me put this product into perspective as far as prices go. Alesis sells the Sample Pad 4. This thing obviously has 4 different pads, and it allows you to put in a 32 gigabyte SD card. So you can put in way more samples in that Roland pad, and the fact that it comes with 25 actual sounds. The Roland pad doesn't come with any internal sounds at all. And you can tune them, add reverb, and it's even got an extra input so you can add a dual zone trigger to this. I've actually played it though. I didn't like how long the loading times were. Now, back to those Roland pads, because that's what this video is actually about. Taken overall, even though this is not a review, I haven't actually played these yet, they were just announced today. I think these are solid products, but Roland overpriced them, because that's what they do. They position themselves as a premium brand and they charge pretty high prices. I do like the idea of these pads though, because it's an easy, simple way to add sounds to your drum setup, whether or not it's your acoustic drum set, your electronic drum set, or your hand percussion setup. It's just a really clean, simple way to do it, and there aren't any like complicated menus. I just think they're overpriced for what they're offering, but I do like what they're offering here. Just my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I was hoping they would actually introduce a brand new electronic drum set, but instead it was just hand percussion pads. But it's cool. I like anything new that comes out that's electronic drum related. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll see you guys in a few.